So we're going to be talking about another film. Another Pixar film. I'm going to be talking about another Pixar film though, but before I do, remember to hit that like button and subscribe. I know I'm starting this video off with a different way. I'm trying to make my intros, like my introductions, more interesting, try to change it up a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to be, trying to review another Pixar film. But before I, do that, remember to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos and content. I'm hoping to eventually get to 1K subs in the future. I'm not there yet. I'm actually far off. Thank you guys for the people who are supporting my channel, though, by subscribing. If you guys are interested in my reviews, then check out my other reviews from Blue Sky and Illumination. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So this is a movie called Brave. Yes, it is brought to you by the letter B, as in brave. Yes. I meant to make that sound more exciting than it actually was. I meant to make that more dramatic. But yes, this is brought to you by the letter B, as in brave. So, Brave is a 2012 Pixar film that came out a while ago. And, the B can be used for, the letter B can be used for either good or bad. When it comes to things, either B can stand for brilliant or just plain boring. So how is this film? How is this film? Well, before we talk about the film itself, we need to discuss the intro. Yes, the Disney intro has now gotten a makeover. This is actually a fun fact. As you guys can see on the card I'm showing off here. Yes, this is a fun fact that this is the first Pixar movie not to feature Walt or pictures in the intro. So now it just says Disney. Now, personally, I don't think this is really a fun fact. I'm actually not really a fan they did this back then, and they're still doing this now. But basically, though, yeah. So, they changed the name. They dropped Walt's name, and then they dropped pictures. And now the intro now only says Disney. And it kind of sucks. It kind of sucks they did this. I don't like that they did this. I don't like it at all. But yes, they did this. They decided. I guess Bob Iger decided to change the name. Yeah, this is Bob Iger's decision. And personally, I think Bob Iger can burn in hell. I do not like Bob Iger. I freaking hated Bob Iger. I don't like the new CEO we got now for Disney either. I think Bob Chapek is just as bad as Bob Iger. I mean, with Bob Iger, he was doing all this stuff, kind of being sneaky about it, while Bob Chapek is, Bob Chapek is, just flat out, revealing all this stuff to people, so showing what the Disney company really was. And this is one of the downfalls to Disney right here. Yes, they changed the Walt pictures and all that. Why did they change it? It has something to do with the Muppets. I'm not really sure why they changed it because of the Muppets, but they changed it because of the Muppets. But what I was looking at, it just felt like Bob Iger just changed the name just because he wanted to, because Bob Iger's a freaking prick. I know that's a bad word, I know, but it's true. Freaking Bob Iger freaking drove this company into the ground. And it's why Disney is the way it is now. But yeah, they removed the Walt in pictures in the intro, and I really hate that. I really hate he did that, because that's disrespectful. That is very disrespectful for Walt himself. Now I know some people may have had problems with Walt in the past, but this was his company. Disney wouldn't be where it's at right now if it weren't for Walt Disney. And the fact that freaking Bob Iger decided to change the intro by removing his name pisses me off so much. It really does. And apparently that Disney now has a new intro too, and it doesn't have Walt's name in it either. But I figured I'll probably watch the intro and tell you guys my thoughts on it when I see it, because I might do a video on it. I saw this guy talking about it, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should do a video on it too, because he did a reaction to the video. I'm not gonna do a reaction to it, but I will do a video on it when I see the intro and tell you guys my thoughts on it. But yeah, they're basically changing up the intro a bit. They actually did this, I believe, last week. They announced it in D23. They announced this. They were doing this. So yeah, but it does not have Walt's name in it, so that pisses me off. It makes the name so generic. It's freaking just so generic now. Like, it doesn't feel like Walt's name. But guess what? His name is apparently still in the end credits. They still have his name in the end credits. And Walt Disney's recordings and all that. But they removed it from the movies, which sucks. But I'm not really a big fan of that at all. I'm really not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of Disney doing this. It frustrates me, and it's another change that ruined this company. This is where the company started kind of going downhill. Well, technically they gone downhill before that because they got rid of 2D animation and stuff. But this is where the company is starting to head into a bad direction, a really bad direction that would continue on. But I'm not going to be talking about this intro too much because I'm mainly doing a review on Brave. I'll tell you guys my full thoughts on that stuff whenever I do the Disney intro video, the new one. So yeah. But I don't have much else to really say there. So let's get into the real film. So yes, Brave. Yes, Brave is brought to you by the letter B because, it's B, And the reason why I bring up that and make that kind of joke is because this movie is not just brave. Like, it's not just brave that starts with the letter B, but this movie is just boring. Yeah, I'm gonna flat out say this. This movie is actually boring. I get I get why people don't like this film too much, because it's really boring. Like, it is absolutely boring. And that's another letter, letter B letter is boring. This movie is definitely boring. It's kind of frustrating too how the mom is basically just controlling and all that, but it's mainly just boring than anything else. Also, something worth pointing out here too, that Disney at this time made two films that were from both of their companies. So Pixar did their own thing with a princess, like Disney does with their company, and then like Disney did a Cars knockoff with their company with with Planes, which is basically a knockoff of Cars. I don't know if it's the same story or not. I've never seen Planes before. I got it on DVD, but I've not seen it. So, I've not seen Planes. But, basically, though, it's a knockoff of that. It's a knockoff of Cars. While this is kind of a knockoff of a princess, from the Disney side, the animation studio. Which is kind of interesting, actually. I don't mind them doing that. Well, the Planes, I feel like, should have been Pixar. That's too similar to Cars. They should have made that a Pixar movie, but this one, I can kind of understand why they can make it a Pixar movie and not a Disney one, because it doesn't borrow stuff from the Disney too much. It just borrows Princess Absetta or whatever that is. while Planes is a freaking complete knockoff of Cars with the same style and animation. So they could have easily made that a Pixar movie, but I still gotta say, I still think this film, is got a nice idea. Like the princess, is turns her mother into a bear and all that. She turns her mother into a bear and all that, and I think that's a nice concept. It's basically switching up the formula a little bit. Instead of the princess turning into an animal, it's the like Princess and a Frog or the Swan Princess, which is not a Disney movie, by the way, but I've seen that movie before. I've seen actually a couple of them. This movie actually changes it up a little bit, so that's nice and all. Unfortunately, it freaking drags on way too long. Like, it really does. It drags on way too long. It really does. It drags on, like, way too long at points. It feels slow at times. It literally takes 30 minutes, well, actually over 30 minutes, like about 35 minutes of the movie just to get to the plot where the mother turns into a bear. So we gotta freaking listen to the princess, being forced into to this marriage while the mother forces her to do that, and she doesn't want to do that. I can relate with this princess. I can. I've been forced to do crap before I didn't want to do. I just wanted to be myself. I wanted to be myself, and but yeah, basically though, yeah, it drags on like way too long, and like it takes like about 35 minutes just to get to the bear part, and the bear part, it's okay. I mean, it's not bad or anything, it's all right, but it just feels like this movie just feels like it has nothing to it. It feels like epic at times, like from Blue Sky. It just feels epic. But yeah, basically though, yeah, this movie just feels kind of, I don't know, feels kind of, not very entertaining at times. And also worth noting too, that the princess's father for some reason has gray hair when she's a child, and then when she's like a teenager. So it's like he didn't, like I don't know why he has gray hair, like it's kind of a weird detail they added to the king, but they gave him like a gray hair, like when she's a child, and then he still has gray hair. Like, well, I mean, obviously he's gonna have gray hair, but you think he would have more gray hair, but I don't really know. I mean, this movie's also a knockoff of How to Train a Dragon, which I believe came out before Brave. I think it did. I think it came out actually a year before Brave, I believe. Yeah, I think it was the first DreamWorks film to use a new intro as well. So yeah, but basically though, yeah, it feels like a total knockoff of that. And that movie is actually better. I don't think it was great, like huge great either, but it was much better than this film. Like I said, this film just feels like it drags on at times. I don't like the mother. I think she's freaking an aggravating character. I don't like how she's forcing her daughter to do all this stuff she doesn't want to do. And I mean, when she gets turned into a bear, I can totally relate why she got what she deserved. She totally did get what she deserved. She basically forced her daughter to get married and all that, do this stuff she doesn't want to do, and I feel like she deserved it. I know some people watching the film and reviewing it said that the princess is the bad person, because the princess, is... Well, they stated that she's an unlikable character because she's turned her mother into a bear, but I gotta say, I disagree, because I feel like she had a right to do that, and she didn't do it on purpose. She was just trying to make her mother respect her and be a better person. But basically though, yeah, but her mother, gets turned into a bear and all that, and they don't really do a whole lot with it, and there is something that happens. So apparently, as the movie goes on, she starts turning more and more into a bear. Basically, she's already a bear, but she acts like a human. but she starts acting more like a bear. She starts acting like a bear, and that's a nice twist. I know Hotel Transylvania 4 also did that trope. They had like Johnny become like he was basically a monster, but he acted like a human. But he started turning into a monster. He started turning into a monster as the movie went on. That's kind of what happened with the bear here, which is the mother who got turned into a bear. And they also run into the other bear who was turned. He was I think a king or a prince that was turned into a bear. Now I don't know if he's a villain or not, because this movie is kind of hard to follow. It's kind of hard to follow at times, because like the main character herself, she doesn't really have her accent for Scottish kind of stinks a little bit. Like I feel like it sounds a bit off. Like it's hard to understand what she's saying. I'm sure she's doing her best she can, but I don't know. I feel like trying to understand what she's saying is really hard at times. And that's what makes the story so hard to follow when you can't understand some of the characters. And yeah, like I said, they talk about the past and how there was this king and stuff. But I don't know if he was a villain or not. Like, I don't know if he was a villain or if he was just a person who wanted power and just became a bear. Because at the end of the movie, he becomes a ghost. And he's a good guy. So I don't really know. Because I know, like, I think Wicked Binge or someone mentioned that he was a bad guy, but I'm like, I don't know how he's a bad guy if he's a ghost and he's actually good at the end. So, I mean, I guess maybe he's bad because he was a bear, but I don't really know. I mean, the bear, because he was in his bear form for so long, he became a bear, like person. He turned into an actual bear, and not just a bear. Well, a human that looked like a bear, he became an actual bear. So, I'm not really sure. I really do not know, but I really do not know what to say here. But yeah, this film is just boring. I don't like it, and I hate to say this. I really do hate to say this, but this is the first Pixar movie that is bad. This movie is just bad. And I'm going to give it a score. This film is going to get 32 points. Yes, 32 points. Yeah, this movie is going to get 32 points. Yeah, it's just boring. Like, it's not as bad as Epic. Epic from Blue Sky was awful. It was a freaking awful movie. I hated Epic so much. I hated the characters in it. And I hated all the characters pretty much, except for, like, the boy who was falling in love with the girl. I freaking hated almost all the characters. This movie is just more boring than anything. I mean, yes, the little boys are... I forgot to mention that the princess has 3 little boys who are her brothers. They are kind of annoying. And I know the mother's annoying too, but otherwise, I don't think the characters are really that bad. I mean, I like the father. I think he's got a great sense of humor. I think he's pretty good. The princess is alright. But it's just a... But it's just it's not a very good movie. It's kind of just boring, and I don't plan on watching this movie ever again. I really don't. I don't plan on watching this. This is the first Pixar movie though that's actually bad. Some of them were really close to actually getting bad. Cars 2 was close. It was close to getting bad. So was Cars 1. But this movie, flat out, is just bad. I mean, Cars wanted to have things that are rewatchable, which makes the film still somewhat enjoyable. This film is just boring, and I just do not like this film. I really don't. If you guys like this film, that's great, but it's my personal opinion after all, but I just can't get into this film. I really can't. I just think it's just boring, and I can't understand the main character. I can't understand her because she's got a weird Scottish accent. I got nothing wrong with Scottish people, I really don't. But I just can't understand what she's saying. It's just really hard to understand her. Now, this has got nothing to do with the actor herself. I'm sure she's doing the best she can. I just don't like that we can't understand the main character. So, yeah. But this movie is just... It's just, really, it's just really, boring, and there's just nothing to it. I mean, if I were to go watch something, I'd rather watch the How to Train Your Dragon movies instead. They're a lot better. But that's just my opinion. Tell me what you guys think about this movie. You guys think it's boring? You guys think it's good? Let me know that in the comments. Also for a comment question for today. This is the fun fact, which was the intro, but I'm also gonna make it a comment question too. So this might be the first time I'm doing this where I do a comment question and a fun fact that tie together. But yes, tell me your guys' thoughts on Disney removing Walt in pictures. Do you think it's disrespectful, or do you guys think you don't mind it? I think it's disrespectful. I think it is. And yes, I'm not a big fan of Bob Iger. I'm not a fan of Bob Chapek either. I don't like either one of them. I don't like both CEOs. I think they're both bad people who ruined the company, and I thought they had no idea what they were doing with the Disney company. But I mean, Bob Chapek, is doing a pretty bad job too. So yeah, like I said, they're both just horrible CEOs. They have no idea what they're doing. But yeah, tell me your guys' thoughts on that in the comments below. And I don't have really much else to say, so I'm going to go ahead and let this go. This is Dash Rose. Have a wonderful day, and see you guys all next time. Bye-bye.